The Queen of the Clay, Iga Swiatek, loses early in Rome on her favourite surface. What is going on with her right now ahead of Roland Garros? Is she even a favourite anymore? We're going to be speaking about it and all the other results in Rome.
That's right, Iga Swiatek out of the Rome Masters Championship. What a shock this one was. I think you actually called it, though. You said that she'd go out early. I thought if she turned it around, she'd probably get to the final and win it. It was sort of a pick-em, and you got it right. Well done, JG. You said she'd exit early, and the problems continue, it seems, for Iga Swiatek on tour. And this was a convincing loss again. It wasn't a battle. It was almost like an Ostapenko-style loss. She got battered off the court by Danielle Collins, who I take everything back. I said, why is she sticking around on the tour just the other day? Well, this is why, because she's just sort of come onto the clay courts. Do you remember when we posted that short not too long ago with Collins and Iga and then the feud between them, speaking after one of their last matches? Well,
at the Olympics, I think that was.
I think Danielle Collins right now, being her bonnet, had a point to prove, and she played her best tennis. And Iga, I think everybody's starting to work out the blueprint now of how to beat her on her best court as well. Yeah, I thought she'd walk this event at least up to a certain point, but not to be the case.
Iga has her enemies. There's certain things she's done over the course of her very young career so far, which has upset certain people. Ostapenko's one of them. Another one's Danielle Collins. There's a few others too, but I can't remember all of the names. And we can go to that. I don't know if you've got it. The video of her with Danielle Collins at the Olympics. I sent it over to you. There was a fierce exchange at the net. I do have some quotes as well, so bring that one up. And Iga's very, very, Danielle Collins was very, very upset by it all. So go up to the quote.
Yeah.
So I told her she didn't have to be insecure about my injury. I don't need the fakeness. So claiming that Iga was fake. Danielle Collins can be very controversial at times too. But it seems like the enemies of Iga have that extra incentive to beat her. I don't put it just down to that, though. That's just one take I've got. For me, Iga's nowhere near the level she was. She's peaked. She's not playing the same level of tennis. Defensively, she doesn't seem to be able to cover the court so well. Movement, she's not as fast. She still has that power. She still has the moments of brilliance. But players are able to beat her quickly. And that's something which she has been doing for the last few years against everybody else. And it was even top players in the top 10 she was able to breadstick and bagel from time to time, especially on the clay. I believe she's won this event, 3 times? She's won Roland Garros, something similar too. And this is her time of year. So very, very surprising that she's lost. What it now means for the rankings is she drops outside the top 3 in the world. Who would have thought that in 2025, that Iga's no longer inside the top 3? She's been in there for 1,161 days. Will she get back there? Is this just a blip? Or does it have more to do with the suspension? We know Yannick Sinner faced a period off the tour. We don't know what he's going to be like yet. We're going to find out very soon. But with Iga, she was suspended, was it back in August 2024?
Yep.
And, in August 2024, she failed the drug test. Since then, she's not won an event since. She lost in the Olympics with Zheng. We had the incident with Collins. Cincinnati, Sabalenka, US Open, Pegula, World Tour Finals, Coco Gauff, United Cup Gauff. And Gauff seemed to have got a number a few times here, you'll see. Then Keys, Ostapenko, Andreeva, Iala, which you could probably say, out of all them names, is the biggest shock, because Iala is one of the players who doesn't have the power of the others. She's a little bit weaker, younger, and a different kind of player. Ostapenko again and Gauff again. So there's quite a few Gauffs there. Andreeva doubled up, Ostapenko doubled up. But this is not the kind of form we expect from her, because not all of these are finals. That's the other thing. She's losing a bit earlier on before she gets to the final in some events. And well, I'll let you take it away with this.
Yeah, last tournament that she won was the French Open, and that was the last stage of Iga dominance, it would seem. And this is why I've been looking towards maybe a Coco Gauff for somebody who can, like, her trajectory seems to be different to Iga's right now. Iga, like you said earlier, like she seemed to peak in that crazy year where she won everything and looked so dominant. But she is a bit older than Coco Gauff, and Coco Gauff still young, still learning the game. And I think that her trajectory is just a bit slower, and it's just going gradually on an upward trajectory. And you've seen from the last 3 performances, she's beaten Iga 3 out of the last 3. Is it going to start being a lopsided one like the Medvedev Sinner one? That one, we don't know. And Sabalenka's probably looking at this thinking, wow, brilliant. She's out the tournament now. I stand an even better chance of winning Rome. And Sabalenka's definitely the best female player on tour on the women's side. I don't think anybody can argue with that. But Iga, this is just a worry. I think let us know in the comment section as well. What do you reckon is causing this? We know that she had a family bereavement recently. Obviously, some people put that down to the reason that she went out. Obviously, got double breadstick by Coco Gauff in Madrid. Is that still a factor? Was this person in her family just a really big part of her life and she's going through something and it's just going to take some time to get over it? If that's the case, then maybe she should take some time. Don't take anything to heart really at the moment and just see how you do in the tournaments, and we'll see the real Iga back soon. Or is this something more serious? Is this actually a decline of somebody who was so dominant everyone's just worked out how they play now? Like, we know how to stop Iga playing is you play deep. You keep her on the baseline.
Are you not putting anything to do with the fact of the foul drug test in August and since they're not winning an event?
It's coincidental, isn't it? This is the problem now. We get these coincidences.
Because people will read into that and put 2 and 2 together.
Well, I don't want to be the person who says that we get these coincidences, but since she had that suspension and now she's come back, she's won nothing. And it was, well, we've had the same thing with the Yannick Sinner thing. I'm not going to go in on Yannick Sinner yet. We haven't seen how he's performed since he's come back yet. But obviously, with his failed drug tests as well, he was playing very, very well for that whole year before he failed those drug tests. So it's just, it smells a bit fishy, but doesn't mean it's fish. That's all I can say.
I would put a lot down to, if you just look at her performances in the matches, is her serve. Her serve, yes. I felt like was a weakness kind of before, and it was something where players can attack. It's not a Sabalenka serve. It's not even a Coco Gauff serve. I think Kerrs can be a little bit more exploited today. Amir Andreeva, King Wing Cheng, these players, they're a little bit more solid behind their serve. Hers has seemed to have fallen off a cliff. It was never great to begin with, but it's not very good at all right now.
Yeah.
And you need that. You do need it because there's so many powerful players on the women's tour right now who will just eat up any first serves that aren't very good. And I felt that's what Danielle Collins did. That's what Ostapenko's been doing. That's what Mir Andreeva's been doing against Iga. Not really giving her any time on her serve and taking it all away from her. And I think she needs to work on that. Is it the pressure of being at the top for so long? Is it the mental burnout of winning so many events? Is it to do with being suspended from the tour or family reasons? There's so many different things. And I'm not going to come on here and claim to be an expert as to know why. I think people who do that on podcasts, it's fine because everyone's got their own opinion and I respect that. But no one really knows. It's all speculating. Yeah. We can put out different ideas and assumptions and what we think might be, but ultimately the only person who really knows is Iga, or maybe some people close in her team, what's causing her performances to drop. But from what I'm seeing, the serve seems to be very bad, and it could be many of them factors I've mentioned, or just a lack of confidence.
I think it's also, like you said, the serve is definitely a problem, but I think it's a lot of factors maybe mixed in together. I think it's the serve is a problem, and the fact that people are probably analysing the tapes of her losses and they're using those against her because she's not evolving so much. She was so good, but she hasn't evolved since she started losing. She hasn't worked out how to counter these losses against. Look at Ostapenko. If she was getting better Iga against the players who beat her, she would have been able to beat Ostapenko by now. She hasn't beaten her once yet. And that is a real sign of somebody who hasn't made any changes to face that certain opponent. Has she been watching tapes on Ostapenko? Has she been trying to improve something to beat Ostapenko? Doesn't seem like it.
The crazy thing right now is Iga is 2.5 with the bookmakers for Roland Garros.
Wow.
I don't know if it's worth me trying to share this. Let's see if I can share it for you guys, because I don't know if you've got it to hand.
I can probably get it up very quick. Don't worry.
If not, let me just share it. It's fine. You can just add it to the screen.
Okay.
So you've got Iga there, favourite, 2.5. Sabalenka, 3.75. Coco Gauff, 8. And Andreeva, 8. And then beyond that, everything above 20s.
Wow.
I think that is great value to back. You can back a few, I believe, because I don't think Iga will win it. Say if you was to back Saba, Gauff, or Andreeva, you're pretty safe that potentially one of them can win. You'll be in the money, whoever wins that. Obviously, you'd rather Gauff or Andreeva. You can go more riskier. But I think it's a great time to have a flutter on the women's Roland Garros because the odds are fantastic. Paolini, £10 returns over 300. It's not bad at all. There's some players here who could do some damage. Naomi Osaka, she's looking good on the clay at the moment. I want to see how she gets on in Rome. I didn't see her first match. How did she do?
I think she went through in 3 sets, but it's still
Okay.
she's not bad, but the name escapes me at the moment. But
Golubic, is it?
Yes,
Golubic in 3. She's playing Balskova today in about 10 minutes' time.
Brilliant. Well, I can't wait to see how that one gets on because Naomi Osaka, the way she played against Iga at Roland Garros last year, it was one of the most impressive performances I've ever seen against Iga at Roland Garros. So if she can play that,
Ben?
well,
67s?
Well, I don't think she's going to win Roland Garros. I'm not going to lie. It's one of those.
Danielle Collins, 80.
You never know. And then she retires off into the sunset. I think for I wouldn't say. What about Kostyuk? Let's have a quick word about Kostyuk because I know that you're a big fan of her. I think that you need to separate at the moment. You'll want for me to fail in my attempt to put her in the top 10 with your actual predictions because Iala beating Kostyuk was a terrible prediction. She got breadsticked and bageled, and I want you to own up to it.
I admit, it was obvious, Ben. I think it was obvious to everyone watching. It was hope more than anything. I really wanted her to win because I like Iala, and I don't want you to get good on your predictions, and I don't want you to gain points.
As long as
there's nothing more. There's nothing for me to explain about it. It is self-explanatory.
100-1 for Iala to win the French Open. I don't think I'll be taking that one.
I'm surprised Iga's still favourite.
Yeah, I am as well.
She's not winning it this year.
Well, she has a lot of improving to do, and I think it's more on the mental side of things more than it is a physical. The serve, I would say, fix that, but game plan a bit. That would be my one thing I'd say to Iga. Get a game plan against the players who you don't like playing against because you clearly don't have one at the moment.
Yeah, what did I tell you about Fabio Marizan as well, Ben?
Yeah, I know.
I said this is the tournament he'll do it.
I think that you did a sloppy Madrid and you're clearing up with a nice Rome predictions. Marizan's doing very well. You said he'd have a good tournament if he didn't have on the last one. You said Iga would go out early in this one as well. You said Osaka, she's looking pretty good as well. Yeah, there's been some good picks from you. What about De Jong?
I think I've got Musetti in the final, and I've also got what's it on the women's? Paolini in the final.
How about this one? Let's just talk about this one just for a second because we have to speak about it. Davidovich Fokina has been one of the best players on tour this year. He's just been
He's not been one of the best players on tour this year.
On clay, but he's just been bageled and a 2 from Jesper De Jong. The guy just destroyed Fonseca only a week ago.
It's not that shocking. That's not that. For me, Davidovich Fokina, I would say I don't think he's made the top 10 of clay court players this year.
Oh, sad to hear that from
I
you.
think you're going too. I understand you're doing this off just one good tournament. What was it? A Monte Carlo or one of them ones you did well at?
A couple of good tournaments.
He had one good tournament and that was it.
He's been
It's like
unstoppable.
Sissipas. You said, "Oh, he's got a new racket. He's so good now. He's amazing. How's he getting on? Is he playing Rome?"
He's doing all right. He's coming through. I've seen some tweets out there though said this is all the tennis fans around the world should be supporting Navone today. Like this is what
Why?
I don't know. There's this thing everyone's going in on Yannick Sinner, who's obviously not Italian and not wanting
That's
him
just
to have a
your
success.
algorithm, mate. All the Djokovic fans in your algorithm.
Well, maybe you could be right. It could be. I think it's just Pavi G. Probably it's just sending that out into the world. But if he wins, I think he plays Jesper de Jong in the next round. That's why it's interesting because Jesper de Jong's in real hot form right now. And if Yannick Sinner doesn't make a real convincing job of Navone, Jesper de Jong, that's a terrible matchup.
Yeah, I think Jesper de Jong's a really good player and only getting better. Good challenger player now. Been able to produce results on the ATP tour, on the main circuit. But you don't want to draw him at Roland Garros. One you want to avoid for sure. I don't know if you're going to give a mention about Taylor Fritz as well. He's not having a great few weeks.
Yeah,
we know he's not a clay court player. We're not going to see his best tennis here.
no,
He'll do quite well at Wimbledon potentially. We've seen him there before doing well,
yep.
but lost to Giron straight sets.
Yeah. And this was an opportunity for him, really. He was like one of the highest seeds in the. He's done a Zverev, but Zverev's actually doing all right in this tournament, and he's getting a bit shirty with some of the interviewers as well. Zverev, why is he having a bit of a problem? They just pointed out, "Oh, you've gone out early in quite a few Masters this year. How does it feel just to go through with some ease at the start?" And then having a very stroppy answer to
Wait,
him,
who
just
was
like.
that?
Zverev, he's just saying,
Right.
"Oh, well, I guess it's just your guys' jobs to come up with stupid questions after the matches or something like what? That's a
I've
stupid
not seen
question."
that.
Well, yeah, just go on there anyway. I don't know what he obviously got a bit of a bee in his bonnet. Doesn't like when people point out his losses, but come on, own it. Just be happy that the fact you're doing all right in this tournament. But Sinner's later. That's the big match. That's the final match of the day in Rome. I'll be watching it. And we'll probably bring a reaction later on for that one.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how he plays because all of this stuff with Iga has made, I think, the eyes of the Yannick Sinner match even bigger. Because say if he just turns terrible and he's really struggling to win tournaments, because let's be fair, if Sinner now goes this rest of the year getting to finals and semi-finals and not winning anything, that is very unusual. Because you'd expect, what's his strike rate? It must be for every 3 tournaments he plays, he wins 2 of them. I think anything less, you'd be surprised.
Barely loses a match.
Doing 3 tournaments to win. I mean, so if he goes, say, plays 6 tournaments without winning one, I'd be shocked. And then I'd start be thinking, I wonder if that having not played on the tour, all of this pressure because of what's happened with the allegations is taking a toll on him. And then maybe then yourself, something similar with Iga. But I'm jumping the gun. I actually don't think that's going to be the case at all. I really hope that Sinner's going to go on and win Rome. I think he can win it. And I just want to see him back on the court because I do love watching him. And the Italian crowd, the reception he's going to get at 6 o'clock, I think they've picked a good time because everyone's going to be there with a few Morettis in hand, enjoying that one.
Yeah. The crowd are going to be going wild. We know what the Italian fans are like. That's for people like Fabio Fognini get a good reception. Imagine when you're the world #1 and multiple-time Grand Slam champion who's just coming back after a long suspension. Yannick Sinner, I don't think he's going to have missed a yard. He might be I'd say half a set to get into it. I'm going to say that. I think Navone may give him a bit of a run for his money in the first set, but I think once he's got that out of the way and he's worked out, I remember this, just like riding a bike, and then he's going to be. He doesn't have a bad serve. That's the thing. The thing with Iga and Sinner, we're not looking at Yannick Sinner going, "Oh yeah, his serve just let him down, didn't it?" No, he serves one of the best serves on the men's tour, and it's such a weapon. And that's the one thing I think if you've not had any match play, the serve is the one thing you can rely on because you don't ever need a person down the other end of the court to practice your serve. You
Yeah.
can always just fire it. And that's the only thing in my game over all those years when I didn't play. That was the only thing which actually stayed okay. So I think he'll be A-okay.
So does that mean you're a big server or not?
Pretty much like Isner, really. That's what they compare it. They call me the London Isner. That's what they were calling me a few years back. But these days, more like I don't know, Andy Murray, bionic hip.
Murray was a good server.
Yeah, I know, but by the end, he was just struggling his way around the court, and that's pretty much my
Andy Murray now, maybe.
Yeah, that's right. That's more what I'm like at these days. Andy Murray would still be highly offended if he saw me play, no doubt. But I want to get back on the court again tomorrow.
Yeah, so let's wrap it up there then. We've had our say about Iga. That is the big news, her losing early in Rome. Do you agree that this is now going to have an impact on who's going to win Roland Garros? It doesn't always, it's not always the same. There's been many years the winner of Rome goes out in the opening round of Roland Garros. We've seen that over the years. I think it was Rebecca not too long ago and someone else. So there's not always direct synergy between the two, but I just feel it's irrelevant. It's more the fact that she's not filling me with any confidence. And even last year, she was quite fortunate to get through Osaka in that match early doors. Osaka outplayed her for large spells of it. It was a fantastic match. And I think if she comes up against anyone in inspired form in the first few rounds, she's losing that match. She's not winning it. And it could be a loss in straight sets too. So I think there's great money to be made on the women's Roland Garros this year because we're going to see not the favourite win. As long as Iga remains favourite.
I think it's huge. The draw this year for Iga is the biggest ever. She's going to be watching.
She's going to be a fourth seed.
And she's going to be looking at it.
Or
thinking,
not, because is the cut-off already done? Probably,
I don't think
right?
it's done yet, no.
Okay.
But she's going to be looking at that, praying not to get someone like Ostapenko in her section, praying not to get Danielle Collins in her section. This is the problem now. There's so many players Iga wants to avoid. And it wasn't like that before.
Okay, there we go. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and we'll be back for more Rome coverage very soon.